বর্তমানে ওয়ার্ল্ড ইকোনমিক ফোরাম তথা গ্লোবালিস্টদের সবচেয়ে বড় এজেন্ডা হলো জলবায়ু পরিবর্তনের বিষয়টি। এটা আমি বলেছি, গ্লোবাল ওয়ার্মিং বা বিশ্ব উষ্ণায়ন এবং তার সাথে জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন। পৃথিবীতে নাকি গ্লোবাল ওয়ার্মিং হচ্ছে, জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাচ্ছে। জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাচ্ছে মানুষের কারণে, সাধারণ মানুষের কর্মকাণ্ডের কারণে বিপুল পরিমাণে বৃদ্ধি পেয়েছে, এটাই তার কারণ। কিন্তু গ্লোবাল ওয়ার্মিং যে মিথ্যা, ভুয়ো, সেটা আমি দেখিয়েছিলাম। তাও অনেকের বিশ্বাস করতে বা উপলব্ধি করতে সমস্যা হয় বিষয়টি, কারণ মিথ্যার জাল এখন অনেক গভীর পর্যন্ত বিস্তৃত। তো এগুলো যে আসলে ভুয়ো, কেন, কিভাবে, কাদের মাধ্যমে, কোথা থেকে এই বিষয়গুলোর উৎপত্তি হলো, সেটা অস্ট্রেলিয়ার একজন ইলেক্টেড পার্লামেন্টের সদস্যের মুখ থেকেই শুনুন। যদিও এটা সম্পর্কে আমি 3 বছর আগেই একটি ভিডিও দিয়েছিলাম, রি-আপলোড করছি অ্যাজ এ রিমাইন্ডার। অনেকেই হয়তো বিষয়টি ভুলে গেছেন, তাই আবার মনে করিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য শুনুন তিনি কি কি বলেছিলেন।
Peter and members of Flag Australia and myself are hearing on a regular basis about the pressure that our farmers and food producers are under. But let me just make the point that these policies come from a faraway place. And you're going to have to bear with me now for a few minutes while I read my speech, and I will read it because otherwise I'll be up here for hours. I get a bit carried away with this, so I've contained it to as smaller speech as I can do. But we are in trouble, and we all need to pull together on this. And first of all, I'd just like to thank people who have been supporting Flag Australia in their push to get this word out there. Leon Biner on his Don't Sell Australia Short Facebook campaign, who has now over 7,500 members, all concerned about the same thing. Sean Perry from 5AA Talkback, who has allowed Peter and myself many times to go on there for hours at a time to get these issues aired and discussed. And we'll actually be having Lord Monckton on there tomorrow night from 7 o'clock till midnight, so that people can ring in, ask questions and have a discussion about this. So 5AA have been behind us, which is great. And also the Southern Argus newspaper. They have been so supportive of getting the message out there of the stress that our primary producers are under, and we really can't thank all of those people enough. So now I'll start to read. Again, thank you all for coming here today. I also thank the many people behind the scenes who have helped to educate me on the global issues and how they are being implemented at a state level so that I can be an effective elected member of your parliament. And while I'm speaking to you today, I'm going to quote a number of people from various influential positions on the international stage, and I'll leave it with you to make up your mind if you want to continue to head in the direction that we're going. I first stumbled across Agenda 21 in about 2008, and quite frankly my first reaction was to dismiss what I was reading, because I didn't believe that any government in Australia would take us down this road. Then I began to see a legislative pattern emerging in Parliament which concerned me greatly, and I also started to see the tenor of legislation that we were passing. I did air those concerns in Parliament, and it was dismissed and ignored. The words Agenda 21, ladies and gentlemen, were never meant to be spoken. And if they were, then of course it would be dismissed as a conspiracy theory. Because if people knew Agenda 21 and what it stood for, there's plenty of information out there where they could actually learn what the end game was, and governments didn't want that to be known. My dad always said to me that people only lie for 2 reasons. One reason is because you're ashamed of what you're doing, and the second reason is that you don't want people to be warned just before you screw them. And I honestly believe that these secrets have been, thank you, that these secrets have been kept for both of those reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, the origins of the environmental movement as we see it began back in 1968 when the Club of Rome was formed. The Club of Rome has been described as a crisis think tank which specialises in crisis creation. The main purpose of this think tank was to formulate a crisis that would unite the world and condition us to the idea of global solutions to local problems. In a document called The First Global Revolution, authored by Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider, on pages 104 and 105, it stated, "In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers, of course, will be caused by human intervention that will require a global response." That's the origin of global warming, ladies and gentlemen. In 1975, Australia agreed to bring in a new economic order via the Lima Declaration on the Second Conference of the United Nations Industrial Development Organisation. The outcome of this was, as I said, the Lima Declaration, which was a blueprint for the redeployment of tools, jobs and manufacturing to the developing nations, leaving countries like Australia short of technology, a manufacturing base and jobs. Blind Freddie can now see what the outcome of that has been for our country, with their unworkable trade and tariffs agreements hand in hand with this that have followed as a matter of course. This is now a reality, with around 90% of our agriculture and manufacturing just gone. Australia signed the Lima Declaration and hundreds of others with the support of all major political players: Whitlam, Fraser, Hawke, Keating, Hewson, Howard, Rudd, the Democrats, the Greens and even the Nationals. It has been put to me that all of these treaties were the foundation for the rollout of Agenda 21, and it seems that Australia has been moved around the global chessboard, and our so-called leaders were either complicit or naive to the long-term consequences. And now we're almost at checkmate.